His name is Gareth, and he rips bits. His name is Gareth, hence why it's Gareth's. His name is Gareth.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining me. Good evening and welcome. This is Gareth's improvised stand-up comedy. The way this works is that people send in suggestions that I haven't seen and I riff on them live for your pleasure. My name is Gareth. I riff. It's Gareth's. That's the name. Makes a lot of sense. And if you're watching on YouTube, which some of you are, please hit the subscribe button so that you get to see all my bullshit. And that brings us to our first segment. Before we get to your suggestions, this is Riffs Just In. Okay, so every week I riff on 3 crazy news stories picked up by every week I picked by my producer. I haven't seen these news stories is what I'm trying to say. Here we go. Here's the first one. First, oh my God, it's a doozy. First preserved dinosaur butthole is, quote, perfect and, quote, unique, paleontologist says. Well, I mean, this is like a paleontologist. The idea that a butthole can be preserved, is that even possible? This man is a liar. Let me tell you who this paleontologist is. This paleontologist gives this quote, and he's like, the butthole is unique and perfect. And then as he's going on, someone walks in and says, hey, the paleontologist is going to be a half hour late. He's stuck at the airport. And you're like, I knew it. This guy's just standing up here shouting about buttholes. So yeah, I wish there was more. I don't know how you keep a butthole perfected. What is a perfect butthole to this guy? Wouldn't a human butthole be perfect? But this guy's like, no, this is the perfect asshole. How much better does this story get if the guy says asshole instead of butthole? Right? If he's like, this dinosaur's asshole is unbelievable. This is great. We all wondered what the Brontosaurus's asshole looked like, and look at this beautiful Brontosaurus asshole. Doesn't it look like a Stargate? Doesn't that look like a hot air balloon knot? Look at that. That is just perfection right behind me right there. That's the kind of butthole you want to jump inside of and get pooped out. Am I right? Look at this thing. Woo! It's fun, too. You can kind of push it. It's a little gelatinous. You hear that spongy sound it makes? That's fun. And again, I am a paleontologist. I love anal. I'm paleontologist. I'm trying to fit it in there at the beginning. It doesn't seem to be working. But you know, the best thing he does is he pokes it and then he goes, ooh, it extinks. Anything? No? Feels like a reach? Okay. All right. Fuck everybody. Next one. Oh my God, another crazy one. Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina-scented candle reportedly ignites inferno. Well, I think we know what a fire crotch means. I love what Gwyneth Paltrow is doing with the vagina scented candles. That's great. I've always walked into my home and thought, God, I wish it smelled like vag. You know what I mean? That's just, But good for her, for sure. I'm actually doing penis incense. It's called Pincense. I make it. It smells like cocks. You've got fresh from the gym cock. You've got clean cock. You've got the smell of beach dick. So I've got a bunch of different penis incenses that I'm releasing. I don't think it's fair for Gwyneth to hog that entire market, so I wanted to make sure I had a share as well. So please keep your eyes open for my penis incense, my Pincense. Yeah, I mean, candle lighting an inferno, not a story. If it is a vagina-scented candle, it ignites an inferno. That is a story. Is there a creepier thing to do than walk into a place where they sell Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candles and have some guy just like, Oh, Helen. What did you say? Nah, nothing. I haven't named this Helen. Oh, Helen. I'm smelling Helen. So yeah, and again, this is, as I'm performing and doing this comedy, I can't stress to you how great it would be to have feedback, how great it would be to have people in front of me going, smelling Helen, that's great, but instead I just shout it into the void and I go, well, I hope that is likable. which is what these are. This is what these are. So, okay. Oh, wait, there's a couple lines in this. A British woman's living room has a unique smell after she says Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina-scented candles call us to fire. Yeah. No, now it smells like fire crotch, like I said. We got another winner. Cocaine bananas arrive at Kilowana grocery stores after mix-up from Colombia. I would, of course, these are Colombian bananas. I think in Colombia, that's just a banana. Right? If you bite into a banana, you're like, oh my God, there's cocaine in my banana. They're like, yeah, there's a banana. You're like, okay. But yeah, I would love a cocaine banana. But bananas have a lot of stuff in them that are great for you. You know, there's potassium. It's good for if you're depleted on your glycemic index. Also, cocaine is fabulous at keeping you awake. So together, I mean, this cocaine banana is its own food pyramid. But I mean, also, if you're the guy who fucked that up, you know, when you open a regular banana and you're like, oh my God, if these are the regular bananas, what's at the Kilowana grocery store? And then people are like, no, the other thing is I hate peeling them. Like, if you peel them, you got to peel them carefully. But that's what's weird about them. And I don't like when they bruise, but I don't hate when they bruise. You know, a lot of times they say when they bruise, that's actually the best time to make banana bread. You know, banana bread's something that's funny because it's not like regular bread. You can't make a sandwich out of it. You ever seen somebody put turkey between banana bread and go, look at this, I got a sandwich? No, banana bread's kind of a dessert, so I don't know why it's called a bread. It should be called banana cake, but people don't call it banana cake. You know, I've never been a fan of cake. You know what I don't like about cake? The frosting. People freak out over frosting. I think there should be an age limit on cake. I think at some point you should just be like, I don't eat cake anymore, or I don't celebrate my birthdays. Like, let's cap it at like 22 or something like that, right? God damn, your banana are fucking delicious. My dick never been harder. Anyway, what I was going to tell you was, the other day, I lifted a car up and I threw it. Yay! So yeah, cocaine bananas, and it's a time, as usual, when I take my socks off during the show, which has become a bit of a tradition. I'm heating up. Okay, now on to your suggestions. Like I said, these are all from you. I've not seen any of these. This week's guest suggestion is from the world-famous Will Anderson. You can find Will at Will with 1L_Anderson on Twitter. Check out his shows, Willosophy, Tofop, Two Guys, One Cup, and Fofop on Tofop. If that doesn't make any sense, surely you can go to Will's Twitter and you will figure it out. Also, he's got a great show you should watch. You can check out clips called Gruen. It's an Australian Daily Show sort of vibe where he basically takes the piss out of a lot of products. It's very funny. All right, let's dance. Accidentally touching feet with the person sitting across the table from you. Yeah, never great. Never great when you're like, have you ever done the thing where you like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like the leg version of where you're just staring into nothingness and the person looks at you like that you're looking at them. You know what I mean? Like, I do that at the airport. I'll just be at the airport and just like not blink for so long for some reason and just be dazed and just looking off into nowhere until some guy's just like, what? And you're like, I'm not looking, I'm not crazy. But the thing is, you put the leg under it. Sometimes you feel like you're like, I remember feeling like I'm hitting like the leg of the table. And so I'll just be like, oh, I'll rub my foot on that for a minute, you know? And then there's someone across from you like, do you need something? You're like, oh, Ted, I didn't realize. Boy, I went to the crotch. That's not good. But it's awkward. Yeah, it's very strange. I don't know why it feels like you just touched genitals, but you are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I would never, I hate your foot. I hate you. I would never do that. I don't enjoy this. It is that level of awkward. Or you could do the kid and play. That's what I like to do. Play it off by just being like, one of those. If you could see my feet, you'd be like, wow, this guy really knows the kid and play dance. Sorry, you guys have to stick with me. I've had a lot of cocaine bananas today. But yeah, it's awkward. Things like that's the same thing when you're on the plane and you've got the armrest. You know, I find it always very strange when like I touch the elbow of another grown man, like, because dude's elbow game is not good. I don't know if you've noticed. It feels like 30% of them are, I don't know what the hell's going on there, but guys really do. It's almost like guys don't look at their elbows. I have like 7 friends who I'd be like, hey, do you need some cream? What's going on? Do you need a little Lotrimin? What do you need on that elbow? Let's get something going, something with a little aloe vera in it. We got to hydrate, my man. But you'll be on a plane, like arm resting, and then you'll just touch elbows with someone. You'll be like, oh, God, he's so dry. I think I might start a fire, you know? But yeah, there's a lot of those, the awkward touching. The other time on the plane is when when you're going to the bathroom and someone's leaving the bathroom and you've got to go through the aisle, and you guys have to just make a decision. Are you going to go butt to butt or penis to butt or vagina to butt or, what are you going to do? And if you ever go like penis to penis as like two dudes, you're like, oh, it's like credit card swiping your dicks against each other. You're like, oh, hello. So there are, there's a lot of those awkward touching moments, but come on, let's grow up. Let's grow up. Realizing you just said the wrong thing is the next suggestion. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's weird. I feel like people no longer admit that they've said something wrong. I feel like you just dig your heels in. I feel like that's what Twitter is. Like, Twitter is just a bunch of people arguing to change the minds of others that'll never happen. It's like a Greek myth, essentially. But yeah, I mean, we've all done that. I remember one time when I was in 6th grade, I was, we were, reading a book together as a class, and we would go every day and go through the next chapter. And Miss Sheehan was like, and who knows why Bryce was so in love with the motorcycle? Why did he want the motorcycle? And I put my hand up because I did the reading, and Miss Sheehan's like, yes, Gareth. And I'm like, Bryce was in love with the motorcycle because Shelley said that she really liked the motorcycle, and Bryce liked Shelley. And she was like, that's great. You know what I love about this is that Gareth obviously did the reading because he put his hand up. And I was like, thank you, Miss Sheehan. And she's like, but what he didn't do is read it correctly because that's not at all the right answer. I was like, thank you, Miss Sheehan. She's like, but I know he did it because there's no way someone would raise their hand to give the wrong answer. I was like, well, you're laying it on pretty thick now. And that's when I realized I had to read things 2 times, whereas other children had to read them once, which was exciting. But, yeah, I mean, I think that happens, like, if you, like, on the dollop, I feel like I say the wrong thing a good amount of the time, I'll say something. I've also developed this thing now where, like, a lot of times you're dealing with, like, kind of dark subject matter, so there's certain jokes I shouldn't make, and I know I shouldn't make, but my mind is in, like, joke space, so my mind is, like, searching for jokes. But I've had to kind of put a bouncer in front of my frontal lobe, a bouncer that holds back certain jokes from my mouth, just because, you can't make every joke. And so you got to go, I think that, like if we're talking about like slavery or like, anything where it's just anti-class or anti-woman or like anti-gay or anything like that, you're like, I probably got to be like a little more careful with the jokes. But yeah, you say the wrong... I mean, you're talking to a guy who said that he thought Benjamin Franklin was a fucking president on the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, you just own it sometimes. I got a great stand-up joke out of it. What the fuck? Guys who take off all their clothes to poop. Okay, if a woman suggested that, I have to tell you, it's not all men. Believe me, it is not all men. # not all men. And if it's a guy who wrote it, you're fucking crazy. I did not know that you needed... Why do you need to take off all your clothes to poop? What are you, 1? You're just like, I'm a baby and I need to be naked to make my booms. I don't... it doesn't make any sense. If anything, doesn't it feel weird when you poop and you just get up? I think you gotta... ratchet your pants up. There we go. I'm back to work, It's weird either way. No matter what way you look at it, it's a weird thing we do. We go off. We're just like, I have business to take care of. I've always wanted to open a restaurant called Future Poops, but it doesn't seem to get a lot of traction from the investors. But that's essentially what food is, so I probably won't open it in this economy. But someday when things come back, keep your eyes open for Future Poops. And the wait staff will always come over to you and go, and what would you guys like to have poop be tomorrow? That's how they start, Do you guys want to hear about the specials before you decide what you want your poop to be tomorrow? But yeah, like I said, I was not aware that dudes were getting full-on fucking nude to shit. It's weird. Seems like a dress is an advantage. But then I could also see a dress being bullshit. Short skirt seems to be where it would be the most simple system. Right? Because if you have a long dress, I don't want to get into it, but my guess is you got to pull it, I don't know how, you don't want it dangling on the, I'll shut up. I'll stop. Kids calling their parents by their first names is a great move. Kids calling parents by their first names. I used to do that shit to Peter all the time. And it's a great way to just kind of take your parents down a notch, to just be like, you're not my father. You're my coworker. You know? Like, I would just be like, Peter, do you need me to throw this out? And he'd be like, my name is not Peter. My name is Dad to you. And I'd be like, oh, Peter, stop it. Do you need this or not, you big goof? But yeah, it is a great way to sort of just, take them down a level, And it's a great thing to see. It's a great thing to see, like, parents when they can't control their children anymore. Like, when they know. Like, I remember when my niece thought it was funny to call me daddy. Like, she was so little, and her mother objected so strongly that she knew it was funny, and she kept doing it. So she knew it was like a bit, so she kept going. You just, like, so she would be like, Daddy, ha, 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 and we'd all have to be like, that's not funny. That's the best thing. Like, when a kid learns a swear word, and they're just, like, swearing, and you have to pretend like it's not funny. Like when someone's like, the dog took a shit. And someone's like, don't say shit. And you're like, oh my God, he said shit and he's 6. Oh yes, it's so good. So yeah, I don't know. I support it. I support it. I definitely, if I was a parent, I would not support it, but I know I would support it as a child. If you were a professional football player, what would your nickname be? Ooh. There's so many. Well, I'd want to be a quarterback, but I think for nickname, you probably need to go more offensive line. I'd want to be something like Stink, or Stank. Something like that, like Stank, Because there's all these stories of football players back in the day. In order to gain advantages, they would, like, sip turpentine and shit so that their breath smelled bad, or they would, like, eat gross foods, or, like, have peppers and onions and sausage so that they could burp into other players' faces. Just any way to get a slight advantage. So I think something like that. Like, if I was the football player who didn't shower for a year, my name was Stank. Something like that would be cool. Like center, number 76, Stank Reynolds. That'd be pretty good. So, yeah, and then there's always Thunder and Lightning, like fast running backs, or like kind of doughier running backs, or Thunder and then speedsters or Lightning. So something like that. Maybe Stank Lightning. I think Stank Lightning would be a great name. I'm fast, but I also have the breath thing, and I'm not showering, Stank Reynolds. No, sorry, Stank Lightning. Yeah. And if I had a kid and he'd be like, hey, Stank, where should I put this? I'd be like, you don't call me by my first name. I'm your goddamn father. You call me Papa Stank, which, by the way, is my ska band. Also, quick addendum. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, this is a good one. Gordon Ramsay's Nightmare on Elm Street. Gordon Ramsay's Nightmare on Elm Street, or Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmare on Elm Street, something like that. So that would probably be a Freddy Krueger, Gordon Ramsay combination, who sort of visited you when you were sleeping, but he would just put stress on you about the restaurant, So you'd be asleep and you'd have a dream that you were just sort of maybe slicing some cucumber, just getting your prep work done, and then all of a sudden you'd just hear like, that's bloody awful. And you'd be like, what the fuck was that? What was that? You call yourself a sous chef? Who was that? What was that? And then you just hear like some claws like go over something like, and you'd be like, oh God. And then he'd pop up, and he'd just be like, you bloody idiot, you've completely ruined your souffle. And you'd be like, ah, and you'd be running away from him, and Gordon Ramsay'd be like taking his chef jacket on and off, just like, you consider yourself a chef, you want a Michelin star? You've got no idea what a Michelin star bloody is it? Is it, do you? What are you? An idiot sandwich? And then you'd pop up like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. It's not real. A souffle? It wasn't a dream. That's how that goes. You have to have that ending. It's legally you must have that ending. It's the thing. It's what we do. But yeah, I could see something like that for sure. And I'm not even trying to be rude, but Gordon Ramsay already has like Kruger lines in his forehead. I look at Gordon Ramsay and I'm always like, man, I gotta like stop fucking wrinkling my forehead up. Because that dude looks like he's like a Klingon with human makeup on. The forehead is just massive. It feels like he's taken a lot of steroids or something because he's got like butt forehead. He's got like butt head, where you just got the ass crack going right along there. And I'm not talking about regular wrinkles. Like, we all have regular wrinkles. I'm talking about like this is like it's like, you know, fat. He's got like a fat head, but not like a football player like Stank Reynolds you put on your wall. But he's got like, you know, kind of just this fat there. So, and I'm not trying to be rude again. I mean, I think Gordon Ramsay's very attractive. I would give him a hand job. I'm just saying that, you know, yeah, he's gotten so intense. So I think that would play into the Freddy Krueger bit a little bit. You know what I mean? Couldn't hide, huh? Couldn't hide. I say that a lot now. If you became president, what cabinet position would Jose get? Well, first of all, it would be whatever cabinet position he walked into first. Probably the ones with the pots and pans. He really loves to go wherever pots and pans are cabinet-wise. But no, I would probably give him Secretary of Fur. Maybe ambassador of clawing the furniture. Something like that, you know. He could also be a presidential advisor. Or he could be my valet. You know, those are pretty simple roles. You know, just something. I mean, ideally, what would happen is if I was president, Jose would just be on the desk at all times. Because, you know, petting animals gives you a calming sensation, you know, so they could be like, Mr. President, Iran has retaliated on the last strikes. And I'd be like, oh, boy, I'm so fucking pissed. Send them chocolates. You know, something like that. Just something. And also, I wouldn't think it would be too gauche for me to have a Bjorn with Jose in it. Sort of walk around like that, like the president. I mean, let's face it. I'd be going in as a single president with a cat. You know, the voters would really like my policies if they elected that shit, right? I mean, so I may as well just lean in, right? Joe Biden's got the aviators. I'll just wear a baby cat on my chest, whatever. It's no big fucking deal. So yeah, he would get whatever he wanted. Maybe VP. I don't know. You know, if he wants it, right? Something like that. Finding face masks in pockets in 5 years. Well, there's a chance that in 5 years you might still have a face mask in your pocket and know what it's for. But yeah, I mean, the truth is, if we get out of this and when we get out of this, we will all have so much hand sanitizer, so many masks, just so much of it, that we won't know what to do. But that's why I think the season of The Masked Singer should just devote itself to those masks, those N95 masks. But yeah, we will be like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm getting close to buying one of those space helmety things that have already jumped the shark, you know, for like when I fly. I know it's crazy, but it would give me peace of mind. And I know, look, I wasn't getting laid on planes before this, but after that, there's no way, you know, there's no way. But I don't know, you got to be like extra safe. So it will be weird, probably, but there's also a chance that you'll be like, a face mask? Oh yeah, it's COVID-31. Oh, time to get the shot. Life has not properly returned because 35% of the people in this country do not believe in fucking science. Although I will say I have talked to people who work in healthcare, and they are not sold on taking it, you know, so I don't fucking know. Yeah, that's the problem when you create a distrustful government. You want to earn the trust. These people don't earn your trust. So, but yeah, it'll probably be weird. I hope it'll be weird. What do I know? I'm an idiot. Snow days. As someone who despised school, snow days is like child gambling, right? Like you are watching those school closure names like it's a fucking sports ticker at the sports book in Vegas. You're like, come on. I mean, they really, it was amazing. Getting a snow day. We didn't get a lot of snow days because the plowing in Wisconsin became so good. We wouldn't get snow. We would get cold days. We would get days when it was physically too cold for you to be outside. So there would be days, I'm not kidding, where with the wind chill, it would be like negative 50 degrees, and they would just have to cancel school because you weren't supposed to go outside. But on those days, I would definitely go outside and like ride my bike to Rebecca O'Neill's house so we could smoke pot, you know, and freeze my fucking balls off. But that's what I would do on those cold days. But I mean, I do remember my school would never cancel. Every other school would cancel. My school would not cancel. They would make us go. It was fucking crazy. And they would always make us go, always make us show up to school. The only time that I had really like some real days off from school that was outside of pretending to be sick or being sick was one time I think his name was Mr. Paschke. Mr. Paschke was a science teacher, and he was trying to show people in the class, the students, the power of hydrochloric acid. Well, as he's trying to show people and he's taking the hydrochloric acid jar under his arm, he fucking drops it. Now, I don't know if you know about hydrochloric acid. Not a good acid to drop immediately. It's like tss, very chemically smoke, right? Coming up, rising up, and there's a base. So there's a thing he could pour on it. I think that might have even been what he was doing. He was going to show people how to, neutralize a spill of hydrochloric acid, but he couldn't get the base jar opened. So he eventually just shouted, "Everybody run!" And then everybody had to leave. Everybody evacuated the school. We had to stand outside, and then eventually they sent us home for the day, and they canceled the next 2 days of school. And it was fucking unbelievable. Mr. Paschke was a goddamn hero. And then I also had in biology, or maybe not biology, but I had Mr. Morales, who was trying to show the students what a 10,000 volt charge looked like. And as he was demonstrating, the electricity sucked his fingers a little bit into the 10,000 volts. And he and he had a big head of hair. And he was like, "Dang!" And his hair like stood up, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, Mr. Morales!" And he was like, he was definitely like shaken. But that was science at my school. It was very much get involved. So yeah, they would, it was a good time. But hydrochloric acid, that was the shit. Overthinking how you walk as a teenager. I don't think I did that. I don't think I overthought my walk, which probably explains a lot. Yeah, I don't really think, I guess I probably practiced it a little bit, but there was other stuff I was working on. I was making out with Paula Abdul posters and shit. I was thinking about that sort of stuff, the stuff that matters. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I could think is that I think I went to school with a guy who, this is fucking crazy, but, well, I don't want to get into all right, there were two crazy last names at my school. One of them was Rectum, and this is where I was going. And what he would do is... Mike, well, I'm not going to say their name, but the Rectum guy, he had a big butt. And so it was always when he would walk, I was like, it's so weird that the dude whose last name is fucking Rectum has a big caboose. And so I was always very aware of like not having like a big, caboosey ass walking around. But I don't think I like worked on my walk. I don't know. But that would make sense. I probably walk weird now. But then there was another guy whose last name was Seaman. I went to high school with a guy whose last name was Seaman, and it was very fun, and I do think about him often, and I think about, God damn it, we were so, it was just so easy. Like, he was a new kid, too. The kid came to our school, and his name was Seaman, and, and we were like, me and my friends were like, oh my God, there's a kid here, his name is Seaman, and I was like, my head's gonna fucking explode, and confetti's gonna come out. But he was a nice kid, but his brother was in charge of, like, when your parents come to pick the kids up, he was in charge of like the parking thing, right? And his name was Chris. And in his in the yearbook, his final yearbook, his senior yearbook, I really wish I didn't have to tell this, but he didn't go with the middle name Patrick, which was his middle name, I believe. It was Peter or Patrick or something like that. He just went with P. So Christopher Patrick Seaman became Chris P. Seaman. And everyone was like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's probably why he walked so funny. He was full of crispy semen in those pants, right? It's a shame. Sorry. I don't mean to make cum sound like, kelp. Anyway, we'll stop. You're right. I don't. We'll stop. Imagine if we ate dairy products from animals other than cows, e.g. rat milk. I think that I do think it's weird that people drink cow milk. It's not for you. Like, you would think it was weird if I drank your mom's breast milk. Well, this is even way fucking weirder. I don't know why we don't do that. Get into some rat milk, right? Everyone likes oat milk, almond milk, little rat milk maybe. Extracting would be difficult. I don't know how much you're going to yield off of a rat. And I guess you go from nipples, but still, you're going to need really, really tight little finger. You're probably going to need to tweeze milk a little bit like that. And even then, I mean, what are you getting? Like a third of a thimble? Like, done. That was good. That's good. How many rats for a cup of coffee? It's like 17 rats. That's going to take a while. But yeah, I think the point here is a good one, which is that it is fucking weird to drink cow milk. It is. It's weird. I mean, the whole process is weird. Do you think it's fucking weird when you see it? I don't care if it's machine or by hand. Either way, it's nuts when someone's like, yeah, when they're just like jerking off a belly dick and you're like, ugh. They're like, yeah, you like it? It's like hearing the fucking empty pail, like, or the machines. Where it's the machine that's just like, and the cow's just like, as it's like, I feel fucking bad for him. I mean, I don't know. It's just like, your life should not be spent in a service of that nature, I don't think. Unless you're able to actually make the decision. Like if cows were like, no, trust me, I like to sell it. I'd be like, I'll back off. But instead, I mean, it's just like, fucking weird. And that's what's weird to me as a kid. They're all like, drink that milk. I was like, I wish someone had really explained to me how weird it was what they were making me do, right? Of course, unless it's chocolate milk, then by all means go for it, because that's delicious. You're a contestant on The Bachelorette. What's your opening line? Fuck. I mean, that's tough. I am not going to lie. I have been watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. This is a safe space. And the things that this one girl on the last one, she to the guy brought a vibrator. She brought her vibrator and she's like, I've been using this a lot of quarantine. I was like, all right, that's interesting. But my first line, I mean, it's so much more than the first line. It's all the pageantry. It's the, how do you show up, just by a limo? I don't know. I guess what I would do is this is what I would do. This is what I would do. Okay? And this is not going to win this for me, but you're going to remember this goddamn face. Okay? I'm going to get out of the car. I'm going to walk up the steps. I'm going to go right to her. I'm going to take her hand and go, no. And then drop it and walk back into the limo and leave. How's everyone like that? Yeah? Not good? Well, fuck you. Okay? Something like that. Or maybe what I would do, maybe I'd go the opposite and I'd just propose right away. Just get it out there. I don't know. All right, this is what I'd do. I'd do this, okay? Walking up. Hey, Marissa. My name's Gareth. Hey, it's great to meet you. I've seen all these guys coming in with, various items to give you. The guy who rode a horse and was dressed like a cowboy, he seems pretty cool. But let me ask you this. Have you ever been with someone who can make a pun out of almost anything? I don't really understand what that means. Well, what I'm saying is I could pun up our world together. So I think it would be, I don't really love puns. That's punny. I had a feeling. And then I'd walk in the house. That'd be it. And I'd trip on the stairs. That's a great move, right? That's what I'd do too. And then I'll shut the fuck up about what I'd do. I'd trip on the stairs and then I'd pretend I hurt an ankle and need help. Okay? There we go. Took us a while. What the fuck? Pine cone with peanut butter and seed bird feeders? Pine cone with peanut butter and seed bird feeders? That's what's happening? At what point do we house the homeless? We're now feeding the birds peanut butter? I think it's time to have bigger conversations. I didn't even know that was a thing. You put peanut butter on a pine cone and with seeds? And then you put it in a bird? What? I feel like birds shouldn't be eating peanut butter. I feel like humans shouldn't be eating peanut butter. You ever, eating peanut butter? You're like, I don't think birds are going to be able to get themselves out of that jam. That's the end of that. Not jam that way. But I mean, there's no way if a bird's like, it's just got a little baby beak. It's going to handle Peter Pan Crunchy? Are you fucking kidding me? No way. So I didn't even know that could be a thing. I didn't know that we were feeding birds pine cones and peanut butter and all that sort of shit. Yeah, so it is peanut butter. But I don't understand why the birds must love that shit. I know I love peanut butter, but yeah, that's fucking bizarre. Weird. I don't know. That's all I got on that one. Your favorite animal fights your least favorite animal. Ooh, shit. Well, I don't like them fighting. I always feel like that's why I couldn't be involved in like any nature documentary, because the second shit was going to start getting hairy, I would like shoot a flare off, you know? In the documentary, it's just like, and you could see right there as the lion is gaining speed towards the sweet gazelle. Unfortunately, though, the gazelle won't be able to make it through this one. This would be mine. And as you can see, the lion is getting close to the gazelle. Go, gazelle, run! Run, gazelle, run! Flare! Shoot the lion! Kill the lion! Gazelles! You know, I get too invested. I hate that part of anything with nature. I mean, it's nature, so you got to allow it, but it's just like fucking brutal. But I guess my favorite animal fighting my least favorite animal. Okay, so it would be Jose fighting a honey badger. I love my boy's chances. No, I guess it would probably be more like, it would maybe be like a capuchin fighting, I'm trying to think what my least favorite animal is. I guess a snake. So we're talking monkey snake fights. And I don't hate snakes. I just would be like, I don't need them in my world. So yeah, I would say either Jose, or no, you know what it would be? This is what it would be. It would be a sloth versus a hippo. That's what I want. And it's not even that I hate hippos. I just want to see a sloth have to get out of any battle. Hippos are some of the fastest animals on the planet. So I just like seeing sloths in their head going 90 miles an hour and then cutting to our reality. Like in a sloth's head, it's like, hippo, hoo, 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 hoo. But in reality, the sloth is going, hippo. So like something like that. There's a moment on Planet Earth Season 2 where a sloth is going to get laid, and it's the fastest you'll ever see a sloth move. He, first of all, hears the mating call. You know, it's like, and he's like, sex? What the fuck? Which is another thing I love about animals. The way that just some female can go like, I need to get fucked. And then like 80 males are like, where's that woman who needs to get fucked? You know, and that's just kind of how it works. But so the sloth knows it's about to get laid. So the sloth climbs down the tree as fast as it can, which is about 1/4 mile an hour. And then once it gets down, it comes to a river and it has to decide what to do. And the next shot is it's in a river. And you've never seen a sloth swimming. Sloths swim for sex. By the way, that's a cover band. Sloths swim for sex. But they do. They swim for sex. And he swims all this way. It's pretty amazing. Okay. 2 weeks notice, but it's the kid's birthday job. So this is a follow-up, I believe, to last week when we were talking about 2 weeks notice. 2 weeks notice, but it's a kid's birthday job. Well, I quit the kid's birthday job a few times, so I gave a few 2 weeks notices, but that is one of the things that was so very hard about returning to it was the way that the other people who worked at the company would be like, I knew you'd be back. And I'd be like, man, I gotta get a real job. But yeah, I mean, it's the thing about kids' birthday parties and why it is a tougher job, I think. Like, if you're having a bad day at a job when you're like in the service industry or whatever, you can kind of just like go through the motions. If you are there for a child's birthday and you are hungover or you're in a bad mood, you're cranky, you didn't sleep enough, whatever, you can't half-ass it because these kids depend on you to be like, oh my God, Spider-Man, you know? So even when I would give my 2 weeks, I would still do a good job. I mean, I felt like I had no choice. I felt like I never felt, it was the only job I never felt like I could call in sick for, and I never did. I would pick up jobs. I remember one time one of the guys I work with got arrested because he pulled a box cutter on someone at a club, and I had to spend the whole Saturday as Hulk. I was out of my comfort zone, you know? But yeah, so I don't know. I never, the 2 weeks notice, but it's the kid's birthday party job. It was it was regular. I'd be like, I'm going to be done in 2 weeks. You know, I think sometimes I'd finish out the month because they get scheduled so far in advance. And sometimes people request you. So you got to make it happen, okay? Like when I was garbage man for Steven Weber's child's birthday party. Or when I did Shaquille O'Neal's kid's birthday party and I was the X-Man who shoots lasers out of his eyes. Or when I was, what's her name? The deaf woman, the famous deaf woman, Madeline something or other. I did her kid's birthday party. You know, any of those, they just would depend on you. Or even when I was at the Schwarzeneggers. Arnold Schwarzenegger, name drop, requested me for a birthday party. Not by name, no, but he did call and say, I want the little one. And I was the little one. And that because I was there with a much bigger guy, the guy who got arrested for pulling the box cutter at a different time. So that was his request. They called and they said, Arnold wants the little one. I want the little one. You know, so that's what I went by for a while. Just how like Baby Yoda goes as the child, I was the little one. Just fun, you know? That's all it is. Okay. Let's see. Wow. Panspermia. The theory that life in the universe is distributed by meteors and asteroids. I have never heard of that. It's also, when I see pan and sperm in the same word, I feel like it's, you know, panspermia to me feels more like cum omelets. But anyway, I believe it. I did not know about it, but I totally believe in a lot of it. I mean, the thing that is strange is mushrooms. The spores of mushrooms are the spores of mushrooms are unchanged if we send them to space. It's the only thing on Earth that its actual makeup doesn't change. The spores on it, nothing changes if you send a mushroom to space. You know, I mean, and that's just like, you know, when you're dealing an eighth to Mars, something like that. But so, yeah, I have often thought that that they are not from here, they are not of Earth. Everything really on this planet started by other things either colliding or landing. I mean, you know, the Big Bang is just one big boom. I call it the Big Boom. But as far as the things around us, like the way the oceans formed and the way that the land formed and all those things, I mean, a lot of that is like, the fact that a meteor killed the dinosaurs. Without that meteor killing the dinosaurs, you would not have us. I mean, that meteor hit like somewhere in South America or something, I think. And, you know, it just completely changed the makeup of Earth. Completely changed it. Went into an ice age, caused all the carbon eventually, eventually for the volcanoes to erupt and go into the oceans, and that slowly formed land masses and all that shit. It just took so fucking long. That's one of the things that drives me so fucking crazy about how we treat the Earth now. It's like the way that these conditions are set is perfect. It's perfect. And we're just screwing with it because we're like, whatever. I gotta get to my job, you know? So, yeah. So there's a lot we need to do. Otherwise, we are going to be in line with the dinosaurs. But yeah, I believe certainly that a lot of things from space, I mean, we're in space, you know? So I think a lot of things from space, yes, have influenced the way that this world is made up. There we go. Have you ever made or received a crank call? Are you genuinely asking me if I've ever prank phone called someone? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, yes, all the time. I would do anything. I would order pizzas to people's houses. I would prank people. I would leave messages on their answering machines. Many things. I got caught. I'll never forget the first time I found out about Star 69. My friend Graham and I had been pranking this kid Caleb, who ended up becoming a good friend of mine after this. But we would just prank him and like leave voicemails and like just be jerk-offs and just say shit like that. And then I'll never forget where Graham's mother came in and she just goes, so I just talked to Caleb's mother. And we were like, what? What? How do you know? And she goes, star 69. And I was like, what is star 69? And she's like, you just hit star 69 and it calls the last number that called you right back. And I was like, oh my God, no. So they'd invented this technology that I had not heard about through the Bad Kid grapevine. So I had no idea. So I was out there prank phone calling like it was the 80s, happily, but I had an 80s attitude in a 90s world. And star 69 had been invented. But yeah, I mean, honestly, my father and I had years where we were estranged. And I used to call my father all the time and fuck with him. Even if it wasn't a prank call, I would just call him in the middle of the night and I'd be like, how's your sleep going? And he'd be like, bleh, like I was just like a real shit. So yeah, I made and received, and I have received them too. Yeah, I've received them before too. I mean, you want to play your part. That's how I feel. Like if I get a prank phone call, let's do this, right? I'll be the straight man, be like, I do not have a stapler caught up my asshole. What are you talking about? Hey, come on, have some respect for this old guy, play your part. But yeah, not a lot of, it feels like it's a weird time now because we're all so afraid of spam calls that you don't answer a call. Like for me to answer a call from a number that I don't know, I mean, I need to be drunk. I mean, that's that simple. If there's a call from like an area code or number I don't know, I'm like, there's just no fucking way. What kind of psychopath? I mean, you need to be like psychotic to just be like, area code 818, I don't know it. Hello? Haha. Why no? I did it. It's like, you don't need that. You got to screen that shit. Right? So yes, to answer your question, made crank calls and received crank calls, and I support it. Let the children have fun, goddammit. It's a rite of passage. Enjoy it. Favorite book sent by someone from either Australia or England because of the U that we add in favorite. That's right. In the States, we do not have the U. In other European nations, they have the U. But again, Americans, we're not taking your shit, other nations. Fuck that U. Fuck you and fuck that U. Welcome to America. It's favorite. Right? My favorite book, I don't know. A Heartbreaking Work of Staggering Genius was a book I read that I really, really loved at the time. Yeah, I don't know. There was something so amazing about that book. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I mean, a lot of the stuff I read now is just like straight up biographies. Honestly, that T.C. Boyle book about Timothy Leary is fucking phenomenal. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but that book is amazing. That's the best book I've read in like, a couple years for sure. The T.C. Boyle book. Again, I just wish I could remember what it's called. But it's about Tim Leary, but it's done in such an amazingly stylized way. He does it from like the POV of people around Leary. So it's all kind of invented, but it's invented off of real facts and stuff like that. So yeah, that book's phenomenal. I also think I used to really enjoy David Sedaris, although some of the stuff David Sedaris has said lately has driven me crazy. Yeah, so, and the T.C. Boyle book is called Outside Looking In, a great book. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. There's so many good books. I would have to look at my bookshelf to have a better idea. But yeah, that's the best book I've read lately. Outside Looking In by T.C. Boyle. Top 3 reasons Jose is the best. Well, okay, the first is he's a lover. I mean, he really is. He's such a cuddly little fucker. So, like, he woke me up a couple nights ago in bed, just slumping on me and just putting his head on me and just purring. And I woke up at like 3:40 and was just like, petting the little guy. So he's a real lover. He's such a little sweetie. Another reason is that he's smart. I mean, he gets it. Like if I tell him no, or if I tell him it's okay, like he freaks out over stuff, but I'll be like, it's okay. He like understands, he can process. He knows when he's doing something he shouldn't, that he has to stop. So he's smart. He's a smart cat. And another reason is that he's funny. I mean, he's just a fucking little character. He still is full of energy. He takes wind sprints still around my place. Yeah, he's funny. I mean, he's just like, he's a little character. My brother does not like cats, and he's like, I like that cat because he's like a dog cat. And he is like a dog cat. He has this real sort of like Planet of the Apes run, like Caesar, the main ape. You know, Jose has this run, this trot he does. Like, if I get on my hands and knees and he's down the hall and I'm like, he will go. And he has this like little Jose trot that he does. But yeah, he's a good dude. So that's all I could say. He's a great little boy. He's my little baby boy, and I bloody love him. New Year's resolutions. I don't think I really made any this year. I've actually been pretty good on New Year's resolutions. I quit coffee. I quit caffeine. I've quit smoking. All on New Year's, all out of New Year's resolutions. But I don't feel like I have to make them every year. I do the dry January every year, and that feels like a resolution, starting the year off a little more, cleaner and all that shit. So, I don't think I made any this year. Yeah, I mean, this is not the right year for New Year's resolutions. This isn't the right year to be like, all right, I need to actually evaluate myself. It's like all you've done for a year is evaluate yourself. It's time. I mean, if there's ever been a time to let yourself off the fucking hook, it's this year. To just be like, fuck it, it doesn't matter. Just eat cake. Do your thing. Who cares? Enjoy yourself. Because it's just gotten a little fucking crazy. How much PDA is too much? So PDA, public displays of affection, is too much. It depends. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because, I think that it depends where you are. It depends who you're around. If you're around your friends, we don't need a lot of it. We don't need a ton of the kissing and all that shit. Right? But if it's just you two out at a bar hammered, go for it. To me, I just don't. It's weird. It's weird when you're around a couple that has too much PDA. It's even weirder. Like, I have friends of mine who just get absorbed by relationships, and you'll never see them alone again. And that's always been really fucking weird to me. Like, there are friends of mine, you'll be like, hey, I'll see you at 7:30. Like, see you at 7:30. And then they show up, and it's like them and their girlfriend. And you're like, well, this is fucking weird. Now I'm supposed to, okay, cool. So it's that on that level of like a relationship where you don't even tell someone you're bringing someone else. Seems fucking weird to me. But yeah, hand holding, that's okay. Arm around your significant other, that's okay. Kissing, a little peck here and there, that's okay. If it's daytime and you're hardcore making out at a farmer's market, you've gone too far, right? I think how about this? If it's before 8 p.m. and there's tongue, this is too far. It's too far. Nobody needs to see you sober street kiss during daylight. I mean, for the love of God, have some fucking self-respect, please. Just save it for the bedroom like the rest of us. That's how I like to treat it. I like to treat it like the 1840s, right? Take her to the bedroom if you want to kiss. But, Pa, we just wanted to hold each other's hands. I don't care. You go up there, you want to hold hands, you go to your room if you want to hold hands, sinner. This is another appendage. This is God's hand, So that's how I treat it like that. I treat it like old-timey courtship, right? Where it's just like, give it a while, Yeah, stuff like that. Like, save it. Save it for the lift ride back, right? Don't be afraid to throw a finger in someone in a lift ride back. That's my policy. That's not a public display of affection. That's a private display of affection. And then you tip $10 and, something like that. So yeah, it's a slippery slope. I would just say, no tongue, no fluid, no fluid swapping, right? But also don't be like this over the top when you're like, oh my God, yeah. Like, we don't need it, okay? If you're so fucking happy, you go enjoy it, all right? We're good. We're fine. Okay, inappropriate times to wink at someone. There's so many. I mean, so many. During sex? You ever winked at someone during sex? Right? Little eye contact during sex and you just shoot awkward, weird. You ever walked into the stall and someone else is using it? That's a weird time to wink, right? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize someone was in here. Right? Weird. Super weird. Super creepy. Right? On public transit, right? Just on the bus, just riding, checking out your stop, lock eyes into someone. Yeah, super weird. Just not normal, not okay. You know, and also, yeah, when you say something serious, I'm so sorry to hear about your father. Just like, wait, what the fuck? Huh? It would be, you know, I would like to do that during stand-up sets more, you know? Right? Just be like, you know, that's the reason. I mean, I'm so sick of it. You can't use the self-checkout anymore. I'll do it to every audience member. That's right, and that's what I'm saying. Kidding. What happened? You sprained your eyes, son. Doing what? You winked too much. Oh, Doc. So yeah, I mean there are a tremendous amount of inappropriate times to wink at someone. It could be endless. I would love for a baby to pop out and that be the first thing. You know, little baby wink. I'm trying to think of any other crazy ones. What about when you're getting married? Do you, Diane, take Richard to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, through sickness and in poor, till death do you part? I do. What the fuck? Diane, what are you doing? What is your problem? Do you do it? Uh-huh. What the fuck is your deal? Do you love me? Yeah, of course I do. You know? There's just, you could do, I mean, it could just go on and on. What about ordering at a restaurant? That's a terrible time to just, for some reason, just try to misconstrue your thoughts. You know? I'll have the swordfish. Do you want the swordfish? Yes, I'll have the swordfish, please. You want the swordfish? Mm-hmm. Can't wait for it. Do you want a goddamn swordfish? Yeah, I'm dying for it. You know? Just, it's a great way to just confuse the hell out of people. Or you're at a bar. Can I get the check? Sure thing. Wait, what? You know? So it could go on and on. I could do that forever. I could come up with horrible... What about at a traffic light? You know? Just give a look over. You know? Super fucking weird and awkward. Right? So, believe me, I'm not trying to think of more. When you're at the grocery store, and is there a number associated with your account? Yeah, it's 212-844-5602. Is that the number? No. What? Charge me full price. I'm crazy. You know? Yeah, I can keep going. I'm done. Okay, and I believe that is the last one. So now I need to think of wills. I think maybe my favorite animal fighting my least favorite animal. I could see rat milk. No way, it's snow masks or snow days. No, Gordon Ramsay's nightmare. I think, judging by the history I have with Gordon Ramsay, this could be a red herring, but I'm gonna go with Will's being Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay is right. Yes, motherfuckers, I knew it. My baby did not let me down. I'll get Jose in one moment. Before I do, allow me to remind you of a couple of things. Tomorrow night, Thursday, January 21st, we have a live virtual dollop. You can get tickets through Looped Live. Everything Dave tells me that it's going to be fucking crazy. Also, coming up soon, we have an Avail stand-up show. I don't know if the date got changed on that. I don't remember. Every Friday, I release a new episode of Pamdemic, which is a web series where I discuss crazy shit with my mother. We've been doing it once a week, so those drop on Friday. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Even if you're watching on Instagram, go over there real quick, subscribe for me. And yeah, as always, if there's any merch or anything you want, please look for that. You can go to GarethReynolds.com and find that, or you can do it through my website, my Twitter, or whatever. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you. In 1 second here. That's a big baby boy. I got a hair in my mouth. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. The Beast. Look at him. Look at him. He's a sweet baby cat. On the ride, he's a little fat. He's got some fluff. He's sort of buff. He's Jose. He's Jose. Yay, yay. He's not furry or blurry. He's my boy. He gets purry, and that's why he's Jose. Yay, 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 my little baby Jose. Hey, now don't you worry about him. He's totally fine. Even though he's over, looks like he's got no spine. He does have bones. I swear to God, he's my baby Jose. My baby Jose. Look at how tight he fits in a ball. He's the guy that I'm gonna call when I'm in trouble, 'cause he's so docile. Look at him, everybody. Look at how docile this being is being. Now, hold on. We can keep him there all day. Now, I'll rest the microphone right on his neck. If you think there's a problem back there, you better check. He's Jose. Oh, Jose. Yeah. Well, what do you want to say, buddy? Talk to people. Hey, the people want to talk to you. What do you want to say? Here, we could do some ventriloquist stuff. I understand you recently started selling Herbalife. Is that true? Yeah, that's true, but let me tell you the one thing they don't tell you about that. Pyramid schemes make you fat. Jose, what are you kidding me? Okay, all right, okay. Do Daddy's kisses fuel you? Does Daddy's kisses fuel you? Do you love Daddy's kisses? I've never licked my cat before. That's cool. Okay, well, I have to go. I didn't think it would get to this point, but I'm gonna go now. Okay? Okay, there you go, bud. What a peaceful, weird ending that was. That's everything. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week, regular time, Thursdays. So join us next week, Thursdays, for Gareth's. Thank you so much.
His name is Gareth. Hence why it's Gareth.